Hi everyone, is software engineering a good career choice for you? I know you keep hearing about those startup founders and mobile app developers that became overnight millionaires. And these big hits make software engineering career path look exciting, but you don't know if it will work for you and what is the reality of the job. In this video, I want to help you figure out if you will enjoy a career as a software engineer. I will talk about the money, what we do all day, and how you can get started to see if you will like it before you sign up for that course, bootcamp, or 4 years degree. My name is Johan, and I'm a staff software engineer at Google Singapore. I am currently leading the technical direction on some of Google big products in charge of about 250 million users. And I've been at Google for the last 5 years, also interviewing senior engineers for Google, as well as on the hiring committee for the software internships of Google in Singapore. Before Google, I spent 10 years in startups as a co-founder or early employee, and I was in charge of growing our technical teams while building our infrastructure and of course the products that the startup sells. I have lived and worked as a software engineer in Europe, US and Asia, and I understand the questions you have. I also understand what companies are looking for and what a lot of software engineers do all day. And with that said, let's get started. Show me the money. That's usually the first question I get. How much do you make? Do software engineers earn a lot, etc.? And the quick answer is really depends on where you live. But generally speaking, in Europe, like France, UK or Germany, US and Asia, Singapore, China or India, there's a growing recognition and appreciation for talented software engineers and a global shortage of engineers compared to the number of companies that need to build stuff. And ultimately, that leads to an increase in salaries, which are often complemented with other kinds of compensation like company stocks or perks. And software engineering is typically on the higher pay scale for the country, especially when you reach senior level after 5 or 7 years on the job, where the non-cash compensation portion increases significantly compared to the cash portion. So all in all, you will not go hungry and you might become a billionaire if you stick to it long enough, or at least financially comfortable. So the money, I would say it's settled. You don't worry too much about it. Early days you might not earn that much, but it grows really quickly, really fast. So what do we do all day? Well, one of the biggest myths I hear is that software engineers are geeks sitting in front of their computers all day, furiously typing cryptic language into the computer. But what I want to say is, firstly, everything is digital now, and almost all the white-collar jobs you can find on the job market today require sitting in front of the computer to get your work done. Artists, marketing, finance, HR, you name it. All these jobs have a significant portion of their time that require doing things through their computer. And nowadays with COVID, it's even more true with everybody forced to collaborate remotely and doing everything online. For software engineers, in reality, the days where I can sit in front of my computer furiously writing code for 8 hours straight are really few and far between. And especially true that you reach more senior levels. And the reason is really simple. It's really, really hard to build something impactful and big and significant with just a single person. That means collaborating with other people is really key. Meetings, brainstorming sessions, writing and reviewing design documents, reviewing other people's code, ensuring everybody is aligned on what you're building or what they should be building, and other general communication like email, presentation, sharing sessions, and other talks are really key aspects of the job. That also includes talking and communicating ideas, expectations, and issues with non-engineers, graphic designers, marketing, leadership, sales, and customer support. And most people overlook those aspects of the job when they sign up, and they think their life will be 100% coding. But in reality, being able to master those will take you much further, and you will become a more valuable member of your team, which will enable you and your team to build bigger things and better things. So let's break down the scope of our job, right? Contrary to popular belief, our job is not to write code. Our job is to build and launch products or features for those products. And ultimately, these products are supposed to directly or indirectly make money for the business that we work for. You never get paid per line of code that you write. And our job encompasses multiple aspects, right? The first and obvious one is programming. We must be able to translate ideas and requirements into code to build new features and products. Of course, we also need to be able to fix and identify fixes for the inevitable bugs that will occur as we build these products. Products are complex, bugs will occur, you have to fix them. You also need to maintain and clean up older code by bringing them to new standard, new technology, or just preparing the code for a bigger feature that is coming up. You need to write tests, to automate the testing of your code so that you feel safer that the new code that you've write doesn't break the previous code. And you also sometimes, quite often actually, especially in smaller companies, you need to be able to set up or even build infrastructure and tools to enable you to build and ship the features that you're supposed to build. And people often forget that. They think everything comes for free, but if you get started in a startup, you have nothing, just your laptop, and you have to build everything from scratch. For bigger companies, a lot of these infrastructure pieces already exist. And finally, on the programming side, you also need to manage what we call code changes. That means reviewing code written by others. You need to look at the history of who wrote what, when a bug was introduced, and can you revert back to an earlier version of the code to avoid the bug and stuff like that. So besides programming, a big part of our role is around actually releasing those features to the user. And that includes coordinating test efforts with actual humans that we call the quality assurance teams, so QA teams. In the game programming, it would be game testers, right? And their role is to click on every button, try to do everything they can to break the app and report the bugs that they encounter, and then work with you on fixing and testing those fixes. You can also work on experimentation of various ways of presenting information to the users to see which one are the most effective. You can also cover that feedback loop with end users where they tell you what they like or don't like, or you have data about what they like and don't like, what they click on, what they don't click on, which bugs they encounter, which crashes they see in the apps or in the products. And of course, you have to iterate by fixing, testing the fix, releasing the updates and patches, and rinse and repeat. We also spend a large amount of effort on collaboration with others, as I mentioned previously. And that includes seeking alignment on what needs to be built or how it should be built. And most engineers are often involved in management of projects and deadlines of those projects. Deadlines are typically when a project should be completed. And that requires breaking down a problem into more granular chunks and estimating how long each of these chunks should take, who should build these chunks, and of course, how long it should take to put these chunks together into the final product. And if you are working as part of a team project, you will need to collaborate very closely with other engineers on the project because some might be waiting for your piece to be ready before they can make progress on theirs. So you want to unblock them as quickly as possible. And you will also need to collaborate with external partners for launch. It's typically like a phone manufacturer or car companies or specific customers that require very particular needs or projects catered to them. And a big aspect of the job is mentoring. We spend a lot of time mentoring people that are less experienced. The goal is to really bring everybody to a high level of expertise and high level of productivity so that they can build good stuff, solid code, and that includes conducting interviews to hire more people into the team. Can be internal transfers if it's a big company, or external hires and interns. And you have to help these people, new people, quickly become an effective member on the team. Typically, we consider that it takes between 1 and 3 months for someone to become familiar with the development tools and environment and the kind of code that we write in the company. So, of course, there are more tasks that we do, and that depends on the project, the product, or the industry. And I glossed over a lot of the details of each of these individual tasks on purpose. That would make the video way too long. And hopefully, that gives you a rough idea of what we do on a daily basis. Now, how can you tell if you will like software engineering as a career? Well, I came up with a small starter project that should not take you more than a couple of weekends, and even if you're starting from scratch with zero programming experience. But it encompasses a lot of the parts of the job, and here's what you need to do, okay? You can take notes, or you can rewind or whatever. So your job is to create an app, it can be Android or iOS depending on what device you use, that you can actually install on your device, okay? And the app should only have one screen with one button in the middle. And when you press the button, the app should say, "Hello, my name is," and use your own name. I'm actually talking about playing actual audio here that you pre-recorded, okay? And the app should run on your device, on actual device, and you should submit your code to a github.com. So you can look at github.com how it works, okay? So I repeat, your job is to create an Android or iOS app that you can install on a real device with one single screen and a button in the middle. And when you press that button, it should say, "Hello, my name is," with your name pre-recorded, okay? And you should submit your code to GitHub. So why did I choose this project and what will you learn by doing it? Well, first, you will learn how to figure out what kind of development tools you need to achieve the goal and how to install and set up those tools so you can start programming. We call this setting up your development environment. Then you will learn with GitHub what we call source code management, which is an essential tool used by all software engineers to ensure that we can see the history of modifications to our code, and then we can revert back if needed. You will also learn how to start from existing code. So in this example, it would be a template project provided by your development tools, and how to add your own feature to that existing code, which is something we do every day. Every day we start from existing code written by someone else and we add on top of it. You will also learn audio recording, which could be useful, and specifically how to add external assets to your project. In that case, they would be audio, but imagine adding images, videos, and whatnot. And finally, you will also learn how to translate your ideas into code, which is the actual programming act. And because it's running on a device, you will be able to show it to your friends, and you will learn the harsh reality of showing a product to people that don't understand technical complexity. Basically, how hard it is to get that thing built. All they see is that single button on the screen, and they don't see the time and hours you spend just being able to press that button and saying the hello, my name is Johan. Hopefully you can try that one out. And if you don't like this idea, feel free to come up with your own. Any starter project will do as long as the scope is really small and can be accomplished within a couple of weekends. But it should encompass the key concepts above of source code management, development environment setup, and one piece of non-obvious code to write. In my case, the non-obvious part is playing audio. So I'm hoping this video nudged you a little bit towards this career path. I personally love it. I believe this is a great career to be in with a lot of growth potential, opportunities worldwide to work on a very exciting projects, and you can even start your own project or startup around your very own ideas, and hopefully you can make it big yourself. And this ability to work from anywhere for any company is very unique to software engineering field. And as the world is increasingly shifting towards everything digital and mobile, most companies need help with bringing their products and services online, digitizing their infrastructure, or inventing completely new ways of doing things using new technologies. So let me know in the comments below whether this video helped you or not, obviously, and don't hesitate to share your thoughts or questions, and of course, like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you, and see you in the next one.